Relates to risk management plans. A risk management plan is an agreement about how to conduct an activity on a specific property. For more information on risk management plans, you can reference the related implementation guide also available on the Clean Water Cataraqui website. Please note that the Module 5 Risk Management Plans image on this slide is a hyperlink to the relevant implementation resource guide developed by Conservation Ontario. Risk management plans are negotiated between a risk management official and the person undertaking the activity of concern. The benefit of a risk management plan is that it allows certain activities to continue to occur on a specific area of land as long as the risk management plan is followed. It is a mechanism to officially recognize the beneficial practices already in place that reduce the risk to the drinking water source, and to require any necessary additional measures. When the activity is conducted in a manner consistent with the risk management plan, the risk to the drinking water source is viewed as no longer significant. In order to ensure the measures are implemented as intended, the risk management plans also include monitoring and reporting aspects as necessary. The Cataraqui Source Protection Plan requires that risk management plans for existing activities are all in place by April 1, 2017. Risk management plans can be simple or complex depending on the activity and its threat to the drinking water source. In some cases, only a portion of the property falls within the vulnerable area, so any requirement for a risk management plan would only apply to that portion of the property. Risk management officials in the Cataraqui Source Protection Area will use standard forms to collect information and write risk management plans. In Sydenham Intake Protection Zone 1, certain activities require the establishment of a risk management plan. Intake Protection Zone 1 is indicated by the yellow arrow and is highlighted on this slide. Policy 7.3.2 in the Cataraqui Source Protection Plan requires risk management plans for the storage of hazardous waste at disposal sites in Sydenham Intake Protection Zone 1. The required minimum risk management plan content includes consideration of the suitability of the storage container, the repair and/or replacement of defective or unsuitable storage equipment, staff training and collection of waste materials by a licensed and qualified hazardous waste collector. Policy 7.3.1 in the Cataraqui Source Protection Plan requires risk management plans for the following activities in Sydenham Intake Protection Zone 1. The storage of agricultural source material, the application of agricultural source material to land, the use of land as livestock grazing or pasturing, an outdoor confinement area, or farm animal yard. The required minimum risk management plan content should be consistent with existing regulations and agricultural best management practices, and recognize existing good management practices. In Sydenham Intake Protection Zone 2, certain activities require the establishment of a risk management plan. Intake Protection Zone 2 is indicated by the blue arrow and is highlighted on this slide. Policy 7.3.1 in the Cataraqui Source Protection Plan requires risk management plans for the following activities in Sydenham Intake Protection Zone 2. The storage of agricultural source material, the application of agricultural source material to land, the use of land as livestock grazing or pasturing, an outdoor confinement area, or farm animal yard. The required minimum risk management plan content should be consistent with existing regulations and agricultural best management practices, and recognize existing good management practices. Section 59 of the Clean Water Act relates to restricted land uses. This term is used differently under the Clean Water Act than it is for land use planning. Simply put, in the context of source protection plans, it is a flagging mechanism. It is designed to flag any proposed developments that could include an activity that is prohibited or that requires a risk management plan under Part 4 of the Clean Water Act. Restricted land uses ensure that the development plans don't proceed until source protection concerns are addressed via the risk management official. It is necessary to use a screening process to ensure that the risk management official receives the required information. This means that help from the departments responsible for planning and building applications is needed. The following slides outline the screening process. This workflow chart is a reference tool for municipal staff. Effective application of Part 4 policies is a team effort between the risk management official and the development review staff. At the earliest opportunity, municipal staff must first determine whether the subject property is within a vulnerable area where Part 4 policies apply. The easiest way to do this is to check the interactive maps on the Clean Water Cataraqui website. If it is outside of the area, then regular municipal procedures apply to the proposal. If the proposal is within a vulnerable area with Part 4 policies, proceed to Step 2. In Step 2, the municipal staff person will assist the development proponent to determine if any Part 4 policies could apply to the proposal. Everything you need for this consideration is available on the Clean Water Cataraqui website, including the interactive maps as well as the restricted land use fact sheets, which will be explained on the next slide. The interactive maps and restricted land use information sheets were developed based on information in the Cataraqui Source Protection Plan. It is important to remember that there are limited source water protection considerations for residential uses in wellhead protection areas and intake protection zones. On the Clean Water Cataraqui website under the Resources tab, specific fact sheets for each vulnerable area have been developed by CRCA staff. These fact sheets identify which activities fall under Part 4 policies in the Cataraqui Source Protection Plan and provide example land uses. This document can be referred to when screening a proposal. Once the appropriate restricted land use information sheet has been selected, determine if any of the activities listed are associated with the proposed development. If Part 4 could apply to the proposal, proceed to Step 3. If there are any questions regarding the applicability of a Part 4 policy, contact the risk management official. After reviewing the applicable restricted land use information sheet with the proponent, if Part 4 clearly does not apply to the application, i.e. they will not be using any of the chemicals identified as a significant drinking water threat, or their proposed activity is not included on the restricted land use information sheet, the proponent must fill out and sign the Restricted Land Use Declaration form. The declaration form will ask the proponent to indicate that they understand the activities that fall under Part 4 of the Clean Water Act in the applicable vulnerable area, and that they agree not to establish any of the activities of concern in the event that the proposal is approved by the municipality. This form helps to provide a paper trail for proposals that don't require further screening by the risk management official. After the declaration form has been read and signed by the proponent, keep a copy of the signed form on file. A copy of the signed form must also be provided to the risk management official for their records. Regular municipal procedures will now apply to the application, as source protection concerns have been addressed. If any of the activities identified in the Cataraqui Source Protection Plan will be associated with the proposed development, it is necessary for the municipal staff person to help the development proponent fill out the Restricted Land Use Submission form, which can also be found on the Clean Water Cataraqui website. The form is 4 pages long and includes sections for contact and property information, a description of the proposal, the reason or reasons that the proposal was flagged, a list of attachments, room for a site drawing, contact information for the Risk Management Office if there are questions. It is to be submitted to the Cataraqui Region Conservation Authority Office to the attention of Holly Evans, the Risk Management Official and Inspector Lead. After receiving the Restricted Land Use Submission form, the Risk Management Official will review the development proposal. Within 10 business days of receiving the form, the Risk Management Official will provide a letter or notice to the proponent and copy the municipality. The letter or notice will indicate one of 4 possible outcomes. The proposal is not affected by policies in the Cataraqui Source Protection Plan. The proposal involves activities that are already covered by a risk management plan. The proposal includes prohibited activities and cannot be engaged in at the proposed location. Or the proposal includes an activity that requires a risk management plan. If the letter or notice states that no further action is necessary for source protection, either because the proposal is not affected or the threat is already addressed by a risk management plan, regular municipal procedures may resume. If the proposed activity is prohibited by the source protection plan, the application cannot continue. If the proposal requires a risk management plan, proceed to Step 5. Step 5 only applies if a risk management plan is required. The person planning to undertake the activity of concern will negotiate a risk management plan with the risk management official. Once the plan is agreed to by both parties, the risk management official will provide the proponent with a copy of the risk management plan along with a notice. Once the development proponent provides the municipality with a copy of the notice, regular municipal procedures may resume.